Jay Slater's mom Debbie reveals torment over so many unanswered questions from son's tragic Tenerife disappearance. Watch Jay Slater's mom Debbie open up to the Sun on her torment over unanswered questions. Debbie Duncan wept as she said she could not get her head around why Jay, 19, got into a car with two older men after a music festival and went to their remote Arab apartment. And Debbie, 56, said she believed Jay could have left the apartment fearing for his safety the next morning, because he would never let his phone run out of charge. She said, "Why did he leave there without charging his phone? He would always charge his phone." There are so many questions. Debbie also revealed she spoke to Jay hours before he went out, and his last words to her were, "I love you, mother." Devastated, Debbie wept as she sat alongside older son Zach, 24, for her first interview since Jay's body and possessions were found in a ravine in the rural Tenerife National Park on July 15. The grim discovery brought to an end an agonizing 29-day search, which drew worldwide attention and thrust Debbie into a storm that has seen her trolled by sick ghouls, as we revealed yesterday. Jay, who went on holiday with pals Lucy May Law and Bradley Hargreaves, went missing on Monday, June 17, after leaving the Arab apartment around 8 a.m. The apprentice bricklayer, who had been on holiday with pals Lucy May Law and Bradley Hargreaves, went missing on Monday, June 17, after leaving the Arab apartment around 8 a.m. Jay, of Oswald Whistle, Lanks, called Lucy, 18, at 8:50 a.m. saying he had cut his leg, was lost and dehydrated, and had just 1% battery on his phone. His mobile last pinged in the mountainous rural Tenerife Park after Jay walked the wrong way from the Arab in Masca, 25 miles north of his apartment in Los Cristianos. And Debbie said she was tormented over why Jay, who had been at the NRG Music Festival in Playa de las Americas, got into a car between 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. with the two men. One was later revealed to be convicted drug dealer Ayub Qasim of East London, while the other was an associate dubbed Rocky. School assistant Debbie also questioned why his friend Lucy did not race to pick him up. Fighting back tears, she told The Sun, "I don't know what he thought he was doing by going with these two guys. I really don't know. I can't get my head round why he just didn't go back to his own friends and went with them. In our minds, we think he's not realized where he was going. And it was dark. I just think he's not even thought about or knew which direction he was going." Jay posted a Snapchat picture of himself smoking on the doorstep of the apartment at 7:30 a.m. and then walked the wrong way after apparently being told there was no bus to his hotel until 10 a.m. Asked if he could have left because he was frightened, Debbie said, "That thought crossed my mind. Jay would not let his phone run down. If he had access to a phone charger, that would be the first thing that he would do. So why did he not want to be there? Why did he not want to hang about to charge his phone? One of these guys had said that he'd given him a charger, but why did he not charge his phone? There's not very many times that I can think where Jay's not been contactable. And if he's not, he'll ring me. I've got half of his friends' numbers in my phone because he's rung me from them and said, 'Mom, it's me.'" Spanish police allowed the two men to leave Tenerife and quickly said they were not relevant to the investigation. Qasim, 31, who booked the Arab under a false name, later said, "Jay came to the house alive and he left the house alive." But talking about Spanish detectives, Debbie said, "I don't know why they interviewed and let them go. I don't know on what day they interviewed them." She said she had not heard from the men who spent Jay's last living hours with him, but would like to quiz them. Debbie said, "I would like to speak to them, probably in time. I would ask what was happening in Jay's mind and why did he leave." Former Detective Mark Williams Thomas, who jetted to Tenerife to investigate Jay's disappearance, has suggested Jay walked the wrong way after leaving the apartment. It was the suggested route on a phone app. But Jay's brother Zach said, "I looked on all different ways on the app, and none of them took you up. They all took you down. If you were to go up, you'd have to drive all the way around Tenerife to get back to the bottom." And Debbie added, "I just can't comprehend, I just can't get into my head why he would have gone the totally opposite way. Instead of going down to civilization, why he would go up the other way. I just can't get my head round that bit." The family also doubt the account of local cafe owner Ofelia Medina Hernandez, 66, who said she spoke to Jay and told him there was no bus until 10 a.m. Debbie said, "I don't know how he spoke to her, because she didn't speak a word of English. She was very cold towards all of the family and put her hand in front of her face when Zach tried to speak to her." Jay's mourning mother has also been left questioning why his friend Lucy did not race to his aid after her son's desperate last call to her. Debbie said, "It has left me thinking, well, you knew his location. Well, why didn't you just go to him? Why didn't you just go? There are taxes everywhere, and she could have just gone." When I spoke to her, I was saying thanks for what you've done. Thanks for reporting him missing. Obviously not knowing anything else at that point. But she's only a kid herself. She's only 18. I can't change anything, and there are so many ifs and buts, and I can just drive myself insane thinking about everything. Debbie, who told us of the special bond she shared with Jay, encouraged him to go on his dream holiday. She paid for his room at the Paloma Beach Apartments in Los Cristianos, where he and Brad planned to stay for 4 days after the festival ended. She said Jay called her from the apartment hours before his fateful last night out. Debbie explained, "I'd spoken to him earlier on. They'd just been chilling at their apartment, and Jay had said he'd burnt his shoulder. I'd packed him off with some aloe vera and said make sure you put that on, and said what you're doing. He said he was not going mad and was going to have a few drinks. He used to call me mother and said, 'I love you, mother.' I used to say, 'I love you, my boy.' That were the last things that we said to each other, thank God."